Yo, are you here?
Yeah, just got here. Are you here?
Yeah, I'm here. Where are you?
I'm nearby.
Where?
Just start walking.
Which way?
Just get up and start walking. I'm nearby.
Dude, where?
Yeah, but you just have to walk.
Dude.
So that's how frustrating it is. That's exactly what Niantic did to us. They took away the nearby Pokemon tracker list.
To be honest, it wouldn't be such a big deal if the game started this way. But like one of the developers of Pokevision said, you don't invent Marco Polo, then take away the polo and expect people to still play.
Niantic has taken the steps to take down apps like Pokevision and other similar ones to help you track down Pokemon.
This is fine considering we've already come out against these apps saying that they're a form of cheating, but Niantic needs to take this as an indication that this is what the community wants. When they first disabled the tracking feature a couple weeks ago, all these apps started popping up because people needed a way to find Pokemon.
With such a decline in players, if Niantic wants to hold their fan base, they need to either fix the tracking list or allow third-party developers to come out with their own app to help us.
At the very least, they need to listen. This is clearly what people want. And if their plans are to remove tracking altogether from the app, they need to tell us that. Niantic, you can't stay silent on this.
Our friends at the Sylph Road have a source close to Niantic that claims to say that they removed the tracking system for safety reasons.
That's understandable considering people have been running into streets and getting hit by cars while chasing down nearby Pokemon, but it all comes down to common sense. You can't blame this app for things that people are doing of their own free will. And again, if that is the reason, tell us.
If not having a tracker is the direction Niantic is heading down, that's okay. You know what? It just brings us closer to the original games, where we didn't know what Pokemon we were going to be running into.
But again, if this is the direction that you're heading, Niantic, tell us.
I'm sure you guys had heard that there's already people out there who've caught all the Pokemon available. And if Niantic is scared that completing the Pokedex is just that easy, removing the tracker to make it harder to find is not the answer.
To be honest, I felt like it happened too quickly. I would have liked it to take months at least for someone to complete the Pokedex. But if you want to make it harder, just change the spawn rates. Don't let me find Dragonite in the wild. Don't let me find Charizard in the wild. Make me catch 100 Dratinis to get my Dragonite. There's other ways that it can be accomplished. And if this is the reason that they're removing it, again, tell us.
We know from Niantic's history with Ingress that they just don't communicate with their player base.
In my opinion, silence is the cardinal sin of game development. Niantic needs to be more transparent in communicating their plans for this game with us, the players. Silence does nothing but frustrate us to the point that App Store reviews are falling to 2 stars, players are mass reporting Niantic to Google for ignoring email communications, and worst of all, people are just straight up uninstalling the game. And to be honest, all this could be mitigated with just a little bit of communication. Even a simple, "we're working on it," would go a long way.
With all that said, we're still here and we're still hopeful. Niantic did bring us the game and did make this into reality, so anything's possible.
It's going to take a little communication and a lot of work, but this game still has a possibility to grow into its full potential.
In the meantime, all we have left is to wander around and hope we run into some Pokemon.
I guess what we're doing now is just walking
And wandering.
because we have no indication of which way to go.
And we're hoping they just pop up.
Oh, look at that. A Ponyta just popped up. I don't know about you guys, but I've been having a lot of trouble with curveballs since the update.
I've had some trouble, but it's just not the same as it was.
They've also changed the distances of the Pokemon. Like, I need to throw a lot harder to hit this Ponyta now.
Yep.
Then it jumps. The other thing is, when I'm holding the camera in this hand and playing with my left, it's a lot harder. So, let's see if this makes a difference. It attacked the ball. Or I missed.
They're very animated. I've seen with the latest update that the Pokemon are jumping around and moving and all the animation has changed. It's awesome.
They're a lot more aggressive, for sure. I can't even get the ball to it.
I caught it.
Is this all part of like just making wild Pokemon harder to catch? Harder to find, harder to catch? If so, tell us.
Here, I'll take a picture and then I just...
With no Pokemon to track, it seems like, at least the way I feel, is Niantic wants us to focus more on traveling to Pokestops and in between Pokestops, you might just encounter a Pokemon. Because from the beginning, the point of the game, or at least their driving force in making it, was to get people out and exploring the world around them. They wanted you to go see things in your city that you might not have seen otherwise. So obviously that's what Pokestops accomplish, but if all you're doing is staring at your phone to find out which Pokemon are getting closer and farther away, you're not looking up and seeing anything.
You're not enjoying the actual experience of what Niantic had hoped for.
Exactly. So I feel like that could be one contributing factor to the reason the tracker was removed. But again, I don't know. I'm just guessing because no one has told us anything.
Talk to us.
Please. Basically what we're doing now is just walking around the park, Pokestop to Pokestop, and I guess we're just letting wild Pokemon show up randomly. And honestly, if this is the way Niantic intended for the game to be played, that's fine. But I think it's too late now. You can't give us the tracker and then take it away, because now that's what people are expecting.
Exactly.
And there's a pincer in the lake. There's a pincer in the lake. I was wondering about this lure module because it's in the lake. I thought maybe it would attract water-type Pokemon, but obviously Pinsir is not that. So this is something that we need to look into, especially after seeing that lure in downtown LA that was attracting water types. What determines the Pokemon attracted to a lure module? Dude, I really can't, I can't play with this hand, you guys. Can't play at all, apparently.
I'm missing all my curveballs.
You know what? They really made the Pokemon, farther away.
But even so, where am I supposed to throw the ball? Okay.
I can't hit it.
We'll just try throwing it straight. That works.
I can't hit it, dude.
I couldn't with the straight. I mean, with the curveball.
This is ridiculous. It's never been this hard before.
Maybe that was Niantic's intention. Let's make
They're just
Pokemon capturing harder.
But why is my question? Why? I can't hit it at all with a curveball.
With the curveball, I couldn't.
And I can't even hit it with a regular ball because I haven't thrown a straight throw since this game came out.
Let's go. There we go.
Dude, I can't even hit it like that. What was that one? Did you
I
see
think
that?
it just got stuck. It didn't read it. I caught it. And you guys at home saw that.
I can't even hit it. Finally.
94, not too bad.
So if they're really trying to make wild Pokemon harder to catch, on top of being harder to track, harder to catch, what's the reason? Is it because they want to sell more Pokeballs? Is it because they want you to go to more Pokestops? There has to be a reason behind all this. And this is what I'm saying with transparency. If Niantic would just explain these things to us, we would feel a lot more comfortable adopting these new mechanics and changes. Instead, it's always going to be met with resistance when there's no reason given.
Exactly. So Niantic, tell us what your goal is.
Seriously. Just tell us how you want us to play the game. Before that pincer interrupted us, what I wanted to say was, if they want us to play the game by just traveling from Pokestop to Pokestop and encountering Pokemon by chance along the way, that's fine. But let me do that without having the game open. If I can see where the Pokestop is, I know where I'm going, let me close the game, give me a notification when a Pokemon appears. There's no reason for me to have my app open right now because I'm not actively tracking a Pokemon. So what's the point?
There is no point.
Count the distance on my eggs with the app closed. Just let me do it with the app closed.
A quick solution to all of this would be with the Pokemon Go Plus. We're waiting on this device to hopefully allow us to do what Niantic is hoping to do by removing the tracking system. And that's not to use the app while we're playing, and to be able to just focus on enjoying the scenery and visiting new places and learning new things, while also being able to get into the game without having to look at the phone.
It just seems backwards to me to make a game and then say, our goal is to not have you play the game as much while you're playing the game. So if all these changes are gearing us up for the Pokemon Go Plus, I don't think they're doing it the right way. This isn't going to encourage sales, it's going to discourage people from playing in general.
That's the way that we feel about the tracking issue. If you guys feel the same way, share this video. Let your voices be heard. Reach out to Niantic directly and let them know what's going on. If they get overwhelmed with responses regarding the same thing, they have to react.
And to be fair to Niantic, we don't know what role Nintendo and the Pokémon Company are playing in all these changes. It's possible that Nintendo might be pressuring them to remove certain features or change things. So, we know there's a lot of pressure on Niantic, but they're the ones in the spotlight right now. And again, if they would just tell us what role Nintendo's playing or what role the Pokémon Company is playing, we wouldn't be so confused. So again, just tell us what's going on. And now we get to the biggest fix that came with this update. Niantic has made some serious balance changes to the battle system. They've reworked moves and their damage so that now fast moves are all comparable to each other, and charge moves deal a lot more damage so they're actually worth using. Let's break it down.
Before we move forward, I'm going to talk about damage per second, or DPS. Each move deals a certain amount of damage, but having the highest power doesn't always mean it's the most efficient. Since each move takes a different amount of time to use, you have to look at the relationship between the damage and the duration to figure out which moves deal the most damage per second.